actually kind of crazy to think about, but 2026 marks the 25th anniversary of Shrek. And with Shrek 5 finally hitting theaters next year, the franchise is back, but hopefully with a better movie than the last. It's everywhere. You have the memes, the viral TikToks, the nostalgia bait. It's easy to look at all of this and just see it as brain rot internet culture, just a banger series of comedy movies that we all grew up with. But that surface level reading is kind of the point. Shrek wants you to laugh first. It disarms you with jokes and pop music, so you don't notice how uncomfortable the emotional core actually is. The humor isn't there just to entertain. It's there to make the heavier ideas easier to swallow.
Ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
But I've been rewatching the original film lately, and I feel like we often get so distracted by the smash mouth and the donkey jokes that we miss the actual terrifying core of this story. I'm not talking about the fairy tale parody stuff. I mean the psychological reality of the characters. Because when you strip away the jokes, Shrek isn't really a movie about a hero saving a princess. It's a movie about the paralyzing fear of being loved for who you actually are. That fear is subtle at first. It doesn't come from one big traumatic moment. It comes from repetition. From being treated like a monster long enough that you start acting like one on purpose. We all know the line.
Okay, ogres are like onions.
Ogres are like onions. We have layers. It's become such a cliche that I think we stop listening to what he's actually saying. Shrek doesn't say he has layers because he's complex or deep. He says it because layers are a defense mechanism. They are things you have to peel back to get to the center. And Shrek is terrified of anyone getting to the center. If you look at his behavior in the first act, he isn't just a grumpy introvert who likes his privacy. He is actively constructing a persona, a mask, designed to confirm everyone's worst suspicions about him so they leave him alone. This is important. Shrek isn't misunderstood by accident. He's misunderstood by design. He chooses fear because fear is predictable, and predictability feels safer than hope. He leans into the monster role because rejection hurts less when you control it. If you scare them away first, they can't reject the real you. They're just rejecting the mask. There's a moment where he admits this to Donkey. They judge me before they even know me. That's why I'm better off alone.
Help! Run! A big, stupid, ugly ogre. They judge me before they even know me. That's why I'm better off alone.
He believes that his nature, his ogreness, makes him inherently unlovable. And I think that's something a lot of us feel, even if we aren't green giants. We feel like if people saw the ugly parts of us, our insecurities, our shame, the things we hide in the dark, they would run. So we build our own swamps. Shrek starts the movie alone in his swamp. He has his routine: mud baths, dinners by himself, scaring off whoever wanders close. And there's this scene early on where he's eating at a table set for one, and the music playing is literally called Eating Alone. It's this slow, melancholic piece that feels both peaceful and deeply sad at the same time. Comfortable loneliness, and that's exactly what Shrek has built for himself. But here's what's devastating about that comfort. When Donkey shows up, someone who genuinely doesn't judge him, who sees past the ogre thing immediately, Shrek still won't let him in. He makes him sleep outside. This isn't about safety anymore. It's about control. Shrek has convinced himself that if he never lets anyone close, he'll never have to experience the pain of watching them leave. The wall isn't protecting him from others. It's protecting him from hope. And the movie does something brilliant here. It shows us that this fear isn't unique to Shrek. It's the actual engine driving every character. The dragon hoards gold in a tower, using violence to ensure absolute isolation until someone shows up who refuses to be scared. Farquaad builds a literal kingdom based on the image of perfection, exiling anything that doesn't fit his curated reality. Even the fairy tale creatures are refugees, expelled for being too weird, too different, too real. Then there's Fiona. She's Shrek's perfect mirror, but her prison is invisible. Where Shrek weaponizes his appearance to keep people out, Fiona weaponizes perfection to keep people from seeing in. She spent years performing an identity she doesn't even believe in, holding on to this fantasy that if she can just maintain the illusion long enough, someone will love the version she's pretending to be. And then maybe she can stop hating the version she actually is. That's a different kind of hell. Shrek's loneliness is loud, aggressive, visible. Fiona's is silent. It's the loneliness of being surrounded by people who only know your mask, of being adored for a version of yourself you can't sustain. She's not waiting for rescue. She's waiting for permission to stop performing. There's this moment that breaks me every time. Fiona overhears Shrek talking about being judged as an ugly beast and assumes he's talking about her. When she later asks, "Who could ever love a hideous ugly beast?"
Dead. Who could love a hideous, ugly beast?
She isn't looking for comfort. She's testing a belief she's held her entire life. And the answer she expects is the one she's been telling herself. No one. The tragedy is neither of them is talking about the other. They're excavating their own shame out loud, thinking they're alone. Both desperately want connection. Shrek sets a table for one. Fiona rehearses conversations with her diary. But they've both accepted a fundamental lie, that love is something you earn by being acceptable, not something you receive by being known. This is where Donkey becomes essential. He doesn't fix Shrek. He doesn't even try. He does something harder. He refuses to accept Shrek's narrative about himself. When Shrek roars, Donkey doesn't run. When Shrek says he's better off alone, Donkey doesn't argue. He just keeps showing up, day after day, unreasonably loyal to someone who hasn't earned it and doesn't know how to accept it. That consistency is what slowly cracks the armor, not grand gestures, not interventions, just a stubborn refusal to let Shrek's fear dictate the terms of their relationship. And when Shrek finally opens up by the campfire, it's not because he's ready. It's because Donkey made it safe enough to risk being unready. And Fiona is listening, hearing someone articulate the exact fear she's been carrying alone. That's the moment she starts seeing Shrek differently, not as a disappointment, but as someone who understands what it costs to hide. The real climax isn't defeating Farquaad. It's Fiona choosing to stay an ogre, not because she's given up on beauty, but because she's finally seen what Shrek sees. That love isn't about being perfect enough to deserve it. It's about being seen fully and chosen anyway. When Shrek tells her she's beautiful, he's not lying to make her feel better. He's telling the truth about what he sees when he looks at someone who stopped pretending. The movie doesn't say love ignores your flaws. It says real love sees them, acknowledges the cost of carrying them, and stays anyway. Not out of obligation, but out of recognition. Here's what the movie understands that we often forget. The opposite of loneliness isn't company. It's being known. You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone if they only know your performance. The real terror isn't being abandoned. It's being loved for a version of yourself you can't sustain, knowing that one day the mask will slip and you'll lose everything. That's why Shrek's comfortable loneliness is so dangerous. It's not happiness, it's the absence of risk. And we mistake safety for peace until we see what we've actually been avoiding. So, yeah. Next time you have the opportunity to be yourself, try it.